Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cockatoos with Attitude. Here's one with
Hello and
attitude right
welcome also
here.
from me.
It's Amy.
Let's see. I think today we don't have any movie quote.
There we. Oh, I put one up there. Did it go bye? Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It's there. They disappear when I
Oh, is
start it
it
up.
the who is but the form? Ah,
Yeah,
there it is. Excellent.
yeah. And Rosebud wants me to read it when she comes in. So let me know when.
Okay.
And then see what because she can't see that well right now. So
Okay, then that's not a problem.
yep.
So hello and welcome everybody.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about hard choices and using loving kindness. I mean, it's an important subject, but one that I can start off a little early here by saying that I don't believe in love. I don't accept it. I don't. I think it's a construct, and on top of that, I think the word is used in so many contexts that it's no longer meaningful. But loving kindness is something that you can do even if you don't care about someone, you can still treat someone with loving kindness. So it's something that can remain constant where, you've seen so many people, oh, we're in love. Oh, they have a big wedding and but they don't invite people to the divorce. But
Some
especially in the
people do
US.
now.
Do they really?
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
there are now sometimes divorce parties. I mean, sometimes when they um separate in bad spirit or so, it's usually like the woman or so burns the wedding dress or things like that. But then there are also couples who are still friends and so things happen.
well, yeah, I framed my last divorce papers and put them in the bathroom, and that's I'm only saying this because it's funny. My ex-wife, we were talking, and she said, the court doesn't. It says we never finalized the divorce, and I started laughing. She said, "What are you laughing about?" I said, "I have the final decree framed in the bathroom." so, uh, But yeah, so loving kindness is a way of dealing with things. You approach everything with loving kindness, every living thing with loving kindness, then you're going to be doing well. But if you have to love something, like there's people who love one child more than another. But if you treat all your children with loving kindness, it won't matter how you feel. Okay. And I think over time, what that does is it makes you have a better outlook towards all living creatures. And you do a better job with the birds in your care or whatever animals you're caring for. You do a better job because what happens to a lot of people is the first time they get bitten, all of a sudden that love is gone. But if you have loving kindness, it won't matter whether you're bitten. In fact, the fact that you're bitten, you say, what am I doing wrong or what's wrong in their world? You reframe things. But if you're just, oh, I'm so in love with this bird, as soon as something doesn't click, then it's divorce papers, right? That's how it works. And I've got birds here that Bob, for one, I think he has 11 divorce certificates. Not official, but you know what I mean. He was or actually, it's 8. He had 8 people get rid of him. And I saw one of them when they were signing I actually had a recording of it. I don't think I have that anymore. I think it got lost somehow. But back when I used to use CDs, don't use CDs. They eventually go bad. But I actually record. I was recording him because they didn't even have him in a harness, and he was out playing, and they were, watering him with a hose. And he was having a good time playing, and but in the background, you could see them signing the paperwork and laughing, like they were so happy to be rid of him. So, but of course, you can imagine, oh, I'm so in love with this bird when they first took him. So, loving kindness. And I think that Gandhi stressed that too. He didn't, sometimes they translate what he said as love, but he always talked about loving kindness. It was also that way with Gautama Buddha. He didn't talk about love, he talked about loving kindness. It's a way of dealing with the world, not a feeling. Okay. So, and sometimes it's tough, like with peaches. I had to make a hard choice there. I mean, and I had help. I had two good friends in the background going, she's enjoying what, her time when she is awake, and she was, even though she was in pain, she really wanted to be alive. She was talking to her friends over the phone, and I knew when the day she stopped talking that it was, that was pretty much it. She'd be gone in a couple of days, but um so I had to decide, am I going to keep her alive? Or, actually, the vet actually said, usually in this situation, we suggest that you put them to sleep. And I looked right at him and I said, I'm not going to kill her. What can we do to keep her alive as long as possible? So at the time, the medicine that we're now using, which was just being tested then, and we didn't actually know everything about it, but she got several shots of that and she did do better. The thing is, we didn't realize that we didn't know the dosage, we didn't know the frequency of the dosage, and they hadn't at that point figured out exactly what was going on. So she lasted an extra 4 months, and it was worth the $3,000 it cost to keep her alive that extra 4 months. But you got to make those choices. And if the bird's in pain and looks like it hates being alive, well, there's a choice there that you would make towards um, you know euthanasia. I don't like the word putting them down or putting them to sleep because they're not sleeping. Usually you wake up from sleep, so you do have those choices you've got to make. And right now, one of the hard choices, which isn't really too hard for me, but it could be for some, is that I have to do injections every 3 days for two birds. And another hard choice is that knowing that this has a tendency not to be caught until it's too late. Next month, I'm getting a house call from our vet, and she's going to take blood from the remaining 10 birds, and we're going to find out if any of them have it. And if they do, then they'll go on the protocol too. So none of this is easy because it's pretty much you're going to have to do it for the rest of their lives. So, but if they're like Cecil, who's enjoying chewing on his little miniature shoe, or like Snowball, who's playing. I mean, if this is the kind of, or like Sugar, well, right now, you know how Sugar is, but he does play. You should see her when she wants out. Well, I'm getting ready to take the birds out. She's quite, quite animated. I forgot to hold on, guys. I got to turn my phone for a second. I forgot to put on my focus so that we don't get disturbed. So there we go.
Meanwhile, I can create some chatters. So let's see. We have Calvin Thurston here, German Jamie, Falcon Sue, Jocelyn Triggle, Spirit Matter, and Giselle loves New York. So hello and welcome everybody in the chat, and welcome to all the viewers.
Hey, everybody. Not one of those fun topics. Not one of those fun topics today, but it's an important one.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had to, it's been really tough lately, but he has to have a special diet. And actually, when I analyzed it, it was probably the right diet for everybody. So that meant I had to change my mash. I had to change the type of pellet they get. Um, and that means I had to do it for 12 birds all at once. Now, I could try to rotate it and slowly work it in, but it's just better to do it all at once. Slowly switch them over. I've got some sticklers who won't eat the new food, but um, she does eat some once in a while. But she's yeah. I'm talking about you. I know because I know where you are. Um, so those are big changes, but the main thing is to get and then I've got to start working this fall on getting them all out to do some flight in aviator harnesses, the ones that still can fly. This one right here could fly, so I got to teach her to fly. Um, Mander can't fly, but there's nothing I can do about that. But the ones that can fly, I've got to get them out and fly them as much as possible. In an aviator harness on a 6-foot leash is the way I'm going to do that outside. I got plenty of room to do that. I could build a flight area out to there too, but of course I could only use it during the late fall to the early spring. But at least get them some exercise. A lot of changes, and the question is, do you let their health go, or do you make the changes necessary to improve things? One person I was talking to was saying that now here's the thing. How many people have taken training, right? How to train animals? Not that many. And when you get to the point where you need that training and you don't have it, you can be up against the wall. So they have a bird with AGN. So it's got to get these shots every 3 days. So she hasn't taken the training necessary. So he doesn't like being taken out of the cage and given a shot. So what's happening? Well, she's taken this bird to the vet every 3 days. How long do you think that'll last? How many people, especially those in the US, are going to continue to do the same thing for months on end, making that trip? Now she might, but I don't know too many people who will. Eventually they'll give up, which is basically a death sentence for the bird. That's where I think everybody should get training. And if you haven't gone to Animal Training 101, and I don't get paid for saying this, uh, and taken the course, the money goes to a nonprofit anyway. So if you haven't done that, and you can get the book if you have a PhD or you're well educated, you could probably learn most of it from her book. But the videos are a much better place to learn because you get to see the real intricate way everything is done. But if you don't know that training and now you've got a bird that doesn't want to come out of its cage and you just have to start asking people, what do I do? Well, that's a bad spot to be in. You've got a bird that has to get these injections or it's going to die horribly. They didn't call it macaw wasting disease when they first saw it because it was a pleasant way to die. Okay. Um, or PDD, that when they were describing one of the things this disease does. Uh, None of those are good ways to die. So if you have the training, and it's a lot of fun. She makes it fun. I mean, sometimes she's got quotes from Monty Python, or she'll show little bits, clips from something funny. She gets your attention and she makes it interesting. Okay. So um, you can take a hardline course or you could take hers, but she's overqualified. And then she really understands the way to use ABA. So she'll use it on you and you'll feel good. But you won't be able to learn it for free. You can try, but people don't usually, especially where I live in this country, people don't appreciate what they get for free. So anyway, you got to make that choice. Am I going to do these injections? And then you have to learn from the vet the best way to do it and where it should be done. And there's a process to the whole thing. You have to hold this needle a certain way. You have to go in at a certain angle. You have to make sure that you're not hitting a vein. But you learn that from your vet, okay? And then you practice on an apple or an orange or something, and until you feel confident about doing it. If you've got help, I don't. But if you have help, then it's easier because one person can hold the bird while the other person does the injection. But and there's not just injections. There are other things you may have to give, like I have to give Haldol. Some of the birds don't do well with a syringe in their beak, so I have to mix it with almond butter or sunflower butter. But they have to have it. It's a game with KK. I mean, he'll hide at the bottom of his cage, and then, I'll take his toys out of his cage, and then he'll hang on the side of the cage and start yelling at me. And then I'll pet him, and if he puts his foot out, I can get him out, and then I can pet him for a while, put him down on the cart, and then when he's on the cart, which I have to turn him a certain way, otherwise he'll fight. So I get him on the cart, and then I can give him his oral medicine, and then I have to wrap him up in a towel because he won't go back to the cage except in a towel. So, and that's an everyday thing, twice a day. So, but that's the way it works best for him. So that's the way I do it. I don't want him to get upset. Once in a while, he won't come out of his cage. I have to throw a towel around his head in the cage, but he's okay with it. He's used to being in a towel. That's how he goes back in his cage. So once in a
Now we're
while,
talking
he'll,
about our favorite KK taco, huh?
yeah, okay, taco right here. He's a good boy, but like, it's his body. He has a right to defend it. But if he
For him,
doesn't
it's
get the,
always Taco Tuesday.
yeah, yeah, it can be. It's pretty much taco every day. But so you have these little routines with. When I switched from peanut butter to almond butter, Romeo's response is, "I'm not eating it." And then so I started mixing a little bit of peanut butter with sunflower butter, and he likes that. But then when I'm feeding the other birds their medicine, he'll start crying. So I'll come over with a little bit of almond butter, and now he's starting to do what they all do, which is like almond butter. I want it. I want it. And you can't give him too much because it's mostly fat. Peanut butter at least has some protein. Sunflower butter is better because it's even higher protein. Still fat, but we're talking about 40% protein, 50% fat, a little bit of carb. So, but if when I, so now he's got it where he will take it if I offer it that way, but I'm pushing him more towards the pure sunflower. So we're working it that way. But the point is to get him to eat the least invasive uh, butter along with his medicine, the one that's going to cause the least problems to his body. So that's always a work in progress. So there are hard choices you have to make. Okay. I never imagined that I would be basically taking over Louise Fletcher's position in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and having to come in with medicine every day. When I started this, that was not the plan. Um, and then with Chloe tearing herself up, I got her on Haldol, and then before I knew it, I had a whole bunch of birds with that problem because people want to get rid of birds that are self-destructive. So now with the new the knowledge we have about AGN, I'm in a position where I have to get injections every 3 days. So not a hard choice to make for me because I don't want them to die. So But a lot of people are skittish about needles in general, let alone using, having to actually inject your favorite little companion with a when they're going to complain and try to fight you on it. To do that, and if Romeo ends up having it, that's going to be fun. I don't know how I'm going to work it out, but I will. He's not good about being toweled. He's not. He comes out of his cage, but he does not just come out at any time. And if I take him out at night in his usual time and try to give him an injection, he may never want to come out again. Then I'll have to cover him in a towel to get him out. And I'm going to have to find a better way. So I'm working on that in my head now. I'm hoping he doesn't have it, but he's got some of the signs. Um, he has trouble moving from place to place. And it seems like he just has balance issues because of those missing feathers, but it may actually be AGN causing a lot of that. So I'm crossing my fingers he comes back negative because that will be the most difficult. She won't be easy either if I have to. She does not like to be manhandled. She likes to be petted on the beak, but she doesn't like to be manhandled at all. I'm talking about you, Shug. Diesel.
Yes, Shuggy, Shug. Mm-hmm.
Trying to change the camera angle here. So you may have a perfect situation now. You think, well, your bird doesn't have any problems, but you never know when they're going to pop up and how are you going to deal with them? And it may not be screaming and biting. It may be health problems that require you to devote more time and effort and do things you don't want to do. Um, I certainly don't want to be giving injections. It's not something I want to do, but something I'm going to do, as I can't imagine a world without Cecil. I don't want to take his bowl away from him at night. He doesn't want me to either. He fights me. Don't you take my food bowl. But he can't eat for the first, after he gets his medicine in the morning, he can't eat for an hour. So, and then I rush out and give him his food first. I make his dry food bowl up first. I make his wet food bowl up first. So I try to make up for the fact that he's held off for a while on his food, but I don't know whether he notices it, but he sure looks for me running in there early. So I guess he's figured that out. Huh? Have you? Little boy. Bear with me as I see if there's anything in my notes I wanted to say. Yeah, the choice to test the other birds is, not just the fact that there may be other birds here that have this debilitating disease and aren't really showing much in the way of symptoms. It's as a Even though the lab itself only charges $50, your veterinarian's going to charge more because it's got to be packaged and sent and all that. Um, and properly packaged. So getting it done all at once for all the birds is going to save some of that cost because they're going to send it in all at once. But still, we're probably talking $1,000 to do it. But there's a choice. Do you really want to wait until it's so obvious and then there's no way you can, uh, well, there's less chance that you can save their lives, or do you want to just get it done? So the board helped me with that decision. The board was also on they should all get tested. So fortunately, our vet can come out and do it here. We have our exam room, so she can do it all in there. So you have to go down to the facility. It's going to be even more expensive. You got to figure in expenses because at some point you're going to run out of money. So, but that doesn't mean you don't do it. Once you decide on the hard choice, it's got to be done. Then you find a way to do it. So. Right? Right, Cecil? Still chewing on that thing? Are you? Yeah, you can see yourself in the camera. Yeah.
What a handsome bird.
Yeah, it's hard to believe he's really ill, but
Mm.
he's just not as energetic as he used to be. Once in a while, he'll beat me up, but mostly he plays on my shoulder or plays next to me or plays with KK. He's not as energetic as he used to be. Yesterday, he was beating me up pretty good, but he's feeling good, weren't you, yesterday? Huh? So little things. Lucy, who's over on the other, let's see if I can switch the camera here. I probably should put it on telephoto.
The goose back
The
there.
goose. Now I know she needs to be tested because one of the things she does is she looks at her feet when she's moving, and she'll put her foot out and it'll shake a little bit. That's a, that's a good sign there's something going on with the nerves. So she's probably got AGN. I would imagine that Romeo does as well. The other birds, I don't know. There isn't any way to be sure, actually, uh, without the test. But unfortunately, so far, the ones I thought had it had it. So
Rosebud Atkins just dropped in at the same time with Natalie and James and Tiki Tiki and Richie the cockatoo. Wow. Nearly everybody
everybody,
within 5 seconds. So hello and welcome, everybody. Good to have you.
yeah, good to sneak in after I've been talking for a while because this is a hard subject. You might want to go back and watch the beginning of it, but I told Rosebud that I would read the movie quote so she can. She's having a little trouble seeing it. So this is the movie quote: Who is but the form following the function of what? And what I am is a man in a mask. So that's the movie quote for today.
And maybe we can talk about something Giselle. I'm not sure if she's referring to her cockatoo or her Amazon, but she says she put a mirror in a room and there the I think it's referred to the cockatoo. The cockatoo thinks there's then another cockatoo. So do they know each themselves in the mirror?
In most of the tests that they've done, they have known themselves, but it depends on the bird. Unfortunately, because of the way they're raised, it depends a lot on the bird. But yeah, they seem to know it's themselves. They figure that out rather quickly. Um, I know
And
with go ahead.
I think we have the first suggestion to the movie quote from Natalie and James to be the question is Batman.
Nope, nope,
Not
nope.
Batman. Oh, Rosebud. Rosebud suggests Zorro.
So guess what?
Zorro? I don't know. Zorro. I mean, Zorro.
Oh no, nope. Next contestant, please. No.
So, how do you pronounce it?
Sarro. Sorrow. Just the same as you would if it had a W after it.
So,
Which
yeah,
is
I
you did a good job. Yeah, I just didn't know. I've never heard of the movie. So
no, I'm not asking about the spelling. I was like, you said Also, you say sorrow.
Hmm.
Sorrow? Because we in Germany, we the Z. Yeah, Natalie and James says Z, not S. Okay, sorrow. So I have no idea. Oh my.
Well, I couldn't see. What's a good clue? Someone in the movie was once an elven king.
Lord of the Rings is another suggestion from Natalie and James.
Nope. But there was an elven king in that movie, of course. But that's not the movie.
The Hobbit, suggestion from Tiki Tiki.
No. I could say good morning on that one. No. There's a great good morning sequence in there. I love it. It's in the book and it's in the movie. It's another good clue. Hmm. A guy is in the mask and on the mask.
A what?
A guy is on the mask and in the mask.
Uh-huh. Kiki is under the blanket. Nope, not
Oh,
fully.
he's no, he's hanging on the edge. He was under it for a while, but he came back out.
He's such a cutie pie. Loves to be under blankets. I'm really curious what they do when they spot their buckets out there. If they run and sit into it and be like, oh, bucket, I missed you so much.
Maybe so.
Or if they feel a little bit estranged to the buckets. Falcon Zoo suggests the man in the iron mask. That was also the only thing I could think about when.
Yeah, that's a good guess. There is something about uh, there's an old movie that's referenced in that film. Um, the actor who stars in the lead role, his last name is Donat, Donat.
Rosebud suggests Dog Man.
No. Let's see. Another clue would be if you're taking the train to Parliament, you won't be coming back.
Oh, hmm.
I think the lady who starred in the movie Black Swan has the lead female role in the movie.
Oh, I know it. I guess I know it, but I don't say something. I guess it's one of your favorites.
Hmm. Well, I have a lot of favorites, but it definitely is one of mine. It's a movie that was not made in the United States because they wouldn't let you make it here. Oh, they say they let you make anything, but that's not true. A good example of a movie like that is the movie Hannibal. At the end, where Hannibal Lecter cuts off his wrist. You know why he cuts off his wrist? Because they can't allow someone in the United States to see an FBI agent. This is definitely going to be, if you're going to read the book, this will blow it for you. So put your fingers in your ear. The FBI agent in charge goes off to live with Hannibal Lecter. See, they won't let you make a movie like that because FBI agents are all perfect, of course. So they actually pay people not to do something. So I'm sure they got paid not to actually end it the way the book ends. So
Okay. We have, I think, again, a suggestion, The Mask, this time featuring Jim Carrey from Calvin Thurston. And then Natalie says she suggested The Mask. And Falcons says Robert Donat must be old.
yeah, it's an old movie. Yeah, Robert Donat. Exactly. This is not an old movie. It was not a brand new movie recently made. The lead character never takes the mask off. That's the next clue.
Phantom of the Opera from Natalie and James.
If you've
I
seen
actually
Phantom of
like
the
that
Opera, you
movie.
know he takes the mask off at some point. So it's not Phantom of the Opera. The mask does come off in both the stage play and the movie. Stage play, it's an entire mask. In the movie, they only put it on half of his face.
But who was
So
the Phantom? Was it not Gerald Butler?
yes,
Where I was
Jared
like,
Butler.
wait, the 300 guy can sing?
You know he can't. That's what he said when they wanted him to play the part. He says, "I've never taken any classes in singing," and they said, "That's okay. We'll help you through it." So actually, he can't. He is not a singer. He is not a professional singer.
Yep. But usually in the movie also they often don't do it with the professional singer, and it also makes somehow sense that there is a certain difference from the movie to the stage play, since in the stage play also there often the voices are so much richer, and it just bombers you in another way than the sometimes gentle voices, but also the gentle voices from the actors also sometimes fit then good to the role. So when you see Meryl Streep singing in Mamma Mia or so, I mean, she has usually not that really powerful voice Donna usually has in Mamma Mia, the musical, but she
Mhm.
just rocks it anyway.
Well, you can see that too in something like one of my other favorites, the stage play with Angela Lansbury and George Hearn of Sweeney Todd. Angela Lansbury can sing, but I mean, but she's perfect in the part, and her voice is perfect in that part. It's not a
She's Angela
strong voice.
Lansbury.
What's that? What?
She's Angela Lansbury. Everybody loves her.
Well, she's great in that part. Is it's Priest? Is it good? It's too good, at least. Another. Let me think. Nobody's getting this. The character has a single letter that really isn't a letter as a first name or as his name.
Oh my. We have more suggest. Oh, we had more suggestions before you said that. That was Giselle suggested Elephant Man, and I think Tiki Tiki suggested Goodbye, Mr. Chips.
No.
And I think Rosebud agrees with you that Angela Lansbury was great in it.
Oh, yeah. She was tremendous. Thanks for the agreement on that one. Most people haven't seen it. It was a Showtime. Showtime filmed the actual stage play, and it beats the heck out of the movie that they made out of it. Not that I have anything against him. I mean, I like the actors in the movie version, but the stage play is just a lot better. When George Hearn sings a love song to his barber's knives, it just makes you cringe. It's so good. But um, at last, my arm is complete again. Uh,
Rosebud says she's sure now that she never saw it, the movie you're
yeah, and
describing.
if you haven't seen it, you should. It's one of those movies that the guy who wrote the original. It was written as a. There's no easy way to say this in English because it comes out wrong. It was written as an adult comic that has nothing to do with what most people think when they think adult. In other words, it's written as a comic book that is not meant for children to read because it's highly political. It's kids wouldn't understand it. It has nothing to do with the usual, uh, sexual nature of adult stuff. It hasn't. That's not what it means. But he wouldn't even watch the movie because, and of course, he lost the rights to it when he published it. That's what happens when you publish things. So, but he doesn't like movies. He doesn't go to see movies. He doesn't like them, and but I think they did. I mean, I've read the adult comic, and it's a lot more political, but I think the movie did a good job with it too. I mean, they're different mediums; they don't come out the same. And Alan Moore, who wrote the original story, writes a lot of things like that. He wrote The Watchmen. They made a movie out of that. He didn't really care for that. That's a movie you should watch just for the credits in the beginning. Whoever did that,
Oh
that was a
my.
tremendous
Giselle now
editor.
suggests Star Wars. Um, let's go to your one. Or what do we have? Loved Frasier. Oh no, that's a comment, I guess. I loved Frasier from Rosebud Atkins. But your last hint was, or one of the was that there's a single letter, and I basically giggled here for myself because we had I seem to remember one time a 5 minute long discussion because we um, talked about you thought I was talking about a ladder. You know the
Mm,
thing you step up.
yeah.
Or yeah, because once I was basically haunted by a actual ladder, not a letter, also not a letter like the word goodbye has 7 letters or so, but
Mhm.
no, a ladder. But I solved the problem with mischief. Yeah, the letter appeared from time to time in front of my door, and um, I don't know. I think somebody wanted to play tricks on me or so in the house, but in my apartment building. But then I basically put the letter somewhere in a complete ridiculous space where it annoyed nearly everybody in the house, and it was gone within hours and never came back.
Okay, last clue. Ah, that's try to give the last. And you guys need to see this movie. I'm sure I mean, they will lower the ratings of movies they don't like because if the government doesn't like what the movie has to say, you'll see a lower rating on it. Fight Club's another example. One of the best movies I've ever seen. You got to watch it twice. But if you don't watch it twice, you didn't see the movie. But the first time I saw the ratings on it, it had 3 stars. Okay, it would have 3 stars for 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons for it. People are too dumb to understand it. That's one. And the other one is they got these little sock puppets signing up, marking it down all the time because they don't want you to watch it. Is anything that talks about how there could be a better government or some way you could change the government, really change it, they do everything they can to sink those movies. That's probably why you haven't seen it. But the Agent Smith from The Matrix plays the lead part.
I
And
love
if you
Agent Smith.
and if you don't recognize his voice when you're watching a movie, then your ears don't work because he has a distinctive voice. Last chance. I want a review from you guys after you watch this movie. What do you think of it?
Mm.
Natalie Portman's in the movie.
How often have the birds seen the movie?
Oh, several times. I don't get to watch movies anymore, but I put that one on when I can.
So you
I
don't
say
know
when I
to what scenes the birds react, especially.
I don't have an Apple TV box anymore, so they're pretty much I have to either do the Netflix thing or the Amazon Prime. But Amazon Prime's gone really downhill. I mean, a lot of the movies they have, I mean, they should have thrown all the celluloid in the trash. Um, this is an important line from the movie. Remember, remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I can think of no reason the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
Tiki Tiki, The Matrix. Agent Smith was in The Matrix,
This
but
actor
wait,
was
yeah.
Agent Smith was the guy who played Agent Smith was in this movie I'm talking about. Yeah.
And Falcon is asking, is it Hugo something webbing,
Hugo
weaving,
Weaving. It's Hugo Weaving. Yep.
weaving?
hmm The movie. Here we go. Drum roll. Can you do a drum roll? I think you can do a drum roll. Can you do one? You beat my head and make a drum roll. V for Vendetta.
Ta-da!
hmm And you probably haven't heard of it because the U.S. government doesn't want you to watch it. Sorry, but it's not a movie that and it was made in England because you couldn't make a movie like that here.
But it's one of your favorites.
Oh, I love that movie. Well,
Mm.
well, Hugo Weaving are 2 reasons to watch it alone, but you know, all of the acting is excellent, and they tell the story well. It's a sci-fi, and it's set some years from now when the United States is turned into more like a leper colony. It's just completely gone. Just a whole totally mess over there, and there's a fascist government in England running the place. That's what it's about. So, and there's one guy that got tortured, and he's on a vendetta, and that's where V for Vendetta comes from.
Rosebud says, I have seen it 3 times, but it never came to her mind. Tiki
Yeah,
Tiki never saw it, and Natalie and James have heard of it, but haven't seen it in forever.
yeah, it's one of my favorites. Well, it's like with Fight Club. Fight Club is a psychological drama. It's not what people think it is. You think it's just about men fighting. It's not. Um, it's a psychological drama, but it's also, not exactly positive towards governments in general. So it's one of those films that I'm surprised they could make it here. But I
Mm.
don't think the director was taking any money to change things. But
We certainly can make a fun episode in the next couple of weeks where you can choose a movie quote from your favorite film or something you think is difficult and ask it to Dawn.
Yeah, I'm not going to get every one of them. That's for sure. And if they're more of the recent movies, I haven't. I can't watch them. I can't watch movies now. They get to watch them all day. They have two TVs in there, one facing to one group and one facing to the other. They're both connected so that they play the same thing. And then I have a sound bar so they get good sound. But all I do is go in and change the movies for them. That's all I do. I don't get a chance to watch them.
Mhm.
Once in a while, I'll stop on a scene that I like in a movie, and I'll spend a minute watching it or something. But that's pretty rare. So it's movies, that are more than. See, when I used to watch them with Romeo, but I can't do that anymore. I'd watch them in a stint. Watch a half an hour movie one day, and next day watch the next half hour. But Cause won't let me do that. She won't let me do it. She's what she does. Where did you go? Are you under here again? Oh, where did he go? Oh, there he is. There he is.
KK.
Hi,
Okay.
hi.
Oh my gosh, that's too cute. How he
Just a
looked
little
out.
little face peering out of the corner when I call his name.
Hmm.
Yeah, Cos won't let me do that now. She screams the whole time if I try to sit there with him. I can sit with him in that chair next to his cage for a couple of minutes. Beyond that, she'll just scream the whole time. She got her
So
vision
let's
back, and
let's
now she doesn't want me sitting there with somebody else. So
mhm. Let's see what is every bird doing right now. Lucy's still sitting back there, shaking the
she's
head.
she's looking out the window. Yeah.
Good girl. Then where's Snowball? He was on the floor playing, I guess. And
Let
I
me
see
put the
now.
top on.
Oh, sleeping.
Next to guess
Completely
who?
camouflaged back there. Oh, look at that sleepy face. Oh my
And
gosh, so cute.
he's got to be close to a pink bird, right? That's what he's got to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm talking about you, don't you, Ann?
And Giselle would like to know what movies do you play for the birds?
Well, right now it's pretty much. Whoops, wrong. Well, this will work. Um, Pretty much what I can get on Netflix. Because I don't have a set box connected. I've got a whole bunch of movies, but they've seen them so many times. So they like movies that have a lot of action. When it gets towards evening and I want to calm them down, I'll put a movie on that's more relaxed. Like a comedy or something like that. During the day, they watch a lot of thrillers and sci-fi and stuff like that. Keeps their attention. It doesn't freak them out. Doesn't bother them at all. But if it's slow talking, like upstairs, downstairs, something that's that kind of slow, they're not interested. So they'd rather watch a movie like The Hidden, which is all action and you know a wild sci-fi movie, than they would watch something where like I'm trying to think, like The Goodbye Girl, um, one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Dreyfuss and Marsha Mason. Yesterday they were watching Jaws. That's one of the movies they saw yesterday.
And we, we,
Um,
we still work on the version on the sequel, Beaks.
they watched one of the Mission Impossible 3. They watched that yesterday.
Giselle says she puts on cooking shows for the zoo when she leaves the house. So her parrots watch actually cooking shows. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I like cooking shows. They aren't interested in something like that. These guys want action, but and you can tell I mean, they watch them. One of the ones they watched was they watched oh, you guys were just talking about it, that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Sun on Mars.
Total
You just
Recall.
yeah, you just got it so you can watch it. Total Recall. They watched that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it pretty soon.
Uh, they liked it. They enjoyed it. 2 weeks. There's a quote from that movie. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. A good scene in that movie too. Um, yeah, I know a lot about older movies. I say older, more than 3 or 4 years old, probably, because I haven't had much time to watch movies with Romeo. So when I stopped watching them with him, I kind of lost track of movies. But
Mm.
you whispering over there? What are you doing? Hi, KK. Are you saying hi, KK, back there?
Do the birds vocalize when they watch movies?
No, the only time they'll do that is if I put on the Parrots at Telegraph Hill.
Okay.
And the only reason they vocalize then is because there's the sound of a hawk.
Oh.
There's a
So you
scene with
could
a hawk
actually
up.
take Sugar with you to the cinema, and that would work out. Maybe not
Yeah,
Sugar.
no.
Sugar is
Well,
she needs her own seat.
yeah, if I brought my own peach and I could set it up in the, I mean, my own perch and set it up in the aisle, she would do fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she watches the movies too, but she's the same way. She likes the action movies and the weird
Because
ones, the sci-fi movies of.
while the pandemic, the most zoos had closed, and the penguins were extremely bored. So they took the whole penguin zoo colony to the zoo cinema and allowed them to watch movies.
Well, these guys watched that penguin movie, the Happy Feet. That's one of the only animation movies they liked.
Yeah, there's so many animation movies I like, so that's a pity. I cannot watch them. The same as with black and white movies. I like black and white movies, not just for the black and white, but they're just some really good, and
Oh yeah, me too.
no, they don't like it. They want colors.
Yeah, they want color. Um,
For them, it would actually make sense to build more than 8K television because they probably can enjoy it, not us, because our eyes. You can go 16K, so our eyes won't recognize the difference.
they can sure tell the difference between HD and 4K. That's one of the reasons I got them Netflix. So when I'd say I got them Netflix, most people would be like, "Oh yeah, just so you can watch movies." I don't get to see them. I can't sit down and watch a movie. So there's no place for me to sit. I'd have to sit in a little hard solid one of these little chairs you put out when you have like a meeting or something. They're really hard to sit on. And on top of that, she cause won't let me, so I don't see new movies. But I can tell when the quality of it'll say 4K, and they like the 4K stuff. And the crazier the movie, the better they like it.
The Shuggy Shipbird.
Well, last note is, you have to make hard choices, and sometimes you need to, talk to people who've been around doing this for a while for a hard choice. But I wasn't sure what to do with Peaches, even though I knew she was enjoying the time she had. And I'm glad I had people telling me, no, no, as long as she's still waking up and still being Peaches, you got to let her live. So I did. And I don't regret that at all. But I just wish we knew more like what we know now. If I knew then what I know now, I probably would still have Peaches with me. But You gonna say goodbye over there? Hmm? It's that time, kids. That time. Here's our Cecil. Say, I'm the Cecil bird.
Yeah, thank you so much for the live stream. And I think the first half hour was serious and a tough topic, but the last half hour was actually fun talking about the movie quote. So we balanced everything out.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys
Oh,
need to see. You need to see that
that would be
movie.
actually interesting. Calvin just says that his birds watch Bob Ross on the weekend. So I just thought maybe it calms Tritons down if you actually give them to watch Bob Ross.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? And
I'm the one
Rosebud
that watches.
plays
I'm the one that
plays
watches the
music
cooking
for her
stuff.
cats.
Huh? What?
Rosebud plays music for her cats, tribal loccata flute, drumming, and classical, and napping music for the old cats.
These guys like music too, don't you?
Not exactly sure who Rosebud is referring to. Do you believe he was a serial killer? Are you referring to Bob Ross? I think I once heard he was an army instructor before he actually started the painting stuff for television.
Okay, guys, we will see you next time. And
On Monday. So thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
bye. Bye. Thanks, Amy. Bye.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
The Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.